School is phenomenal. People don't even realize how valuable it is. Being in the space for a few years myself and having seen like how creators who monetize kind of lose a bit of their reputation. Like I certainly lost my reputation with like my courses and everything. But with School, it's like, it's just so, it's so clean. And when you've put everything together and it's like you get to build this massive catalog of value, the biggest thing by far is that your conviction is there. So I sold all my courses for $497, $997 each. I sold my coaching for hundreds per hour. I put all of that inside of my school for $129 a month. And I now have made an extra like 15 courses that I've also put in there. Now I do masterminds, which are worth thousands of dollars or at least hundreds of dollars. That's all in there. Then you got the community. Then I'm in there with my coaches and everything. We're replying to people's questions. I do 3 live calls a week, which usually I would have charged hundreds for. And so it's like, it makes it very easy to just overload the value. Like great. Like it's just anything. Like I like to work all day, right? So it's like anything more that I have in terms of bandwidth, I'll just put it back into there. So it's like, it's so easy to make it literally worth thousands. So now I feel like I have almost like a moral obligation to get people to join, because when a young man joins it for $129, it's kind of like he's just gotten 1,000 or 2,000 back. And so it's like, if you care about your people, you'd actually really want them to join because you see how much of a win it is. You see how much progress these guys are making, how important it is. They come to my meetups, which we do every single month. And like, you know, we'll take guys up the tallest mountains in the UK. We'll bring guys to like the fanciest buildings in a city, and they'll look around like, I don't do this. Many of them literally like, they don't leave their rooms. Most people don't. And so when I take like 100 young men to Ben Nevis, like the tallest mountain in UK, and it's like, it's icy, it's, you know, it's a full on expedition. They're literally shaking and crying in tears, hugging each other, saying like, this is the greatest day of my life. I feel amazing. This is like beautiful. I just did a mastermind in London where we all dressed up and everything. And guys, you know, like saying like, I don't wear clothes like this. I didn't even know how to handshake. I had to watch like a guide before this, but I feel like a professional. And that's the most transformative part. I could be charging like a lot of money for these real life experiences, but I just add them inside just because it's like fun for me and it's even more transformative for these guys. So I think School's absolutely phenomenal, especially if you have my personality style where you enjoy working and you just like want more things to do. The problem with like courses and anything like that is that you kind of want to keep it passive, but I was always bored in business. I was making 10, 20, 30K a month. And I was just so bored. I was like, you know, YouTube doesn't take that long. I was doing the 4-hour work week thing and I was just kind of depressed. I was like, I wanted to work harder because the harder you work, the more money you make, the more of an impact you have on people. And so I always had like a huge level of lacking fulfillment for the first few years of business up until I got into School. And this is the first time I can say for being an entrepreneur over the last like 4 or 5 years that I've really been fulfilled. Like really, like I can't explain to you like how fulfilled I feel every single day.
It's
that I've
because
got,
you're actually slaying the dragon, right? And you can't slay a dragon passively.
yeah.
Can you imagine if like, I don't know what scenario, if there's like a dragon, you've got like a little button that like throws a couple of rocks at it like once per day. It's like, that's not
video game. It's like your character's killing the dragon while you sit there, eat your Cheetos.
That's not what it is. And that's not how you can make money that way, but I don't think you can change a culture that way. And when I look at you and what you and the team are doing, it's like you're in the culture changing business. You're in the life changing business. And you know, you mentioned earlier that you were surrounded by friends who weren't really friends. Like how many young guys around the world are experiencing that? Where this community now gives them a chance to like choose friends and choose family that actually are the people that they need.
People do not realize how valuable that is. Like everyone understands, okay, everyone's lonely. Loneliness is a huge problem. It's like one of the worst things you could have in terms of your health. It's like, I think it's the equivalent of like smoking cigarettes, right? And truthfully, you know, when people search up advice on like how to make friends, the advice I'll tell you is rubbish. So how to make friends. It's my videos basically. And it's like, you know, I've given the shitty advice and it's like, you know, go to the gym and speak people in there and like go to the martial arts club. I'm telling you right now, I've done that, right? I've done like any social skills advice you can hear of. Go join a club and everything. It's very unlikely that you'll go join a club and there's someone there who's got very similar interests to you. Yeah, okay, you go to martial arts and they also train martial arts. But I went there and it's like, they all drink and they all go out and they all do this and I don't do this and they still play video games. You know what I mean? Even in the gym, you're always going to find people who've got like a little bit of an overlap, but not much.
Right.
But the beautiful thing about school communities is people will join and they overlap their interests so much with each other. Like you join my school community, any guy who joins, it's like they're a young man who wants to get more masculine, wants to make money, wants to learn how to date, is in the gym, eats 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, has very similar views, world views to me, than therefore to each other. And I say to the boys every day, it's like, you're still not utilizing it as much as you could. You could go send like a 10 messages per day. Everyone in here is like a potential lifelong friend for you right now. I shout at them all the time, tell them like, don't like fucking complain about anything. Like, oh, I'm lonely. Send out 50 messages, like message everyone in our list. Imagine if you messaged we've got 1,700. Imagine if you messaged everyone in there over the next few months, you'd literally get too many friends. If you're complaining about, modern day loneliness, you join a school community and you just message the people in there and you're active, you show up to in real life events and everything. You will have too many friends. And the thing is not just the quantity, but this is the first time in history where you can actually find people who overlap your interests almost entirely. You've never been able to have that before. You go to university and yeah, sure, they study the same subject as you, but their worldviews are entirely different to yours. You go to the gym and yeah, sure, they eat protein and go to the gym, but they're also like completely leaning this way in an argument and you're not. With these online communities, you find people who are so similar to you that it's just perfect that you could literally speak for 10 hours a day. And people aren't taking advantage of it just yet. But I'm so excited when I see a young man come in and I see like, there'll be a post of like, some kids just joining. It's like, oh, here's my first post. I'm going to try and make friends. I've seen the same kid 2 days later make another post. I've just met like James and we met up in real life. I'm like, that's sick. That's like, you never would have saw that a few years. We've had this stranger danger shit.
3 weeks later, he's like posting topless on top of Ben Nevis.
Post, like the best post I've always liked. There's guys who talk about making money. They watch one of my courses, they get to 100 subscribers, they make their first sale online, they build muscle. Those are all nice. My favorite post in my community is when it's literally just 2 guys flexing and they're like, oh, I just met like someone else from our community in real life. It's my favorite thing ever because I think back to times when we were younger. There was nothing like that. You had to basically just be friends with like the dickheads from high school. They're racist as fuck. They're mean, they're disrespectful, especially when you go on your own journey as well. And like that's what friendship has been like for most people. Nowadays, school and these online communities are such a privilege to be a part of. And yeah, shout out to Sam Alvin, shout out to the school team because the work that we've got here is absolutely phenomenal.